I will say this, there were 3 proposals. 3. And 2 rings. There were 3 rings, but the first time he wasn't offering one. And there was another girl involved. That's all I'm going to say about that right now. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
So we got a question that I thought we should take some time to answer. We just did a Q&A video, so make sure to check it out. I will link it right here with a card, or right here, somewhere up here with a card. But I thought that this question deserved its own video because it was a little bit more extensive. So we decided to tackle it separately. Okay, here's the question.
I was tackling it.
The question is by Phoenix 5, and it is...
Hey Phoenix!
Hey Phoenix!
Thanks for watching.
She's referring to a video where she's referring to a list that I read to you guys from a girl, yeah, it was a girl, that I found in the library, tucked away in a book. She gave a list of the attributes of a guy that she wanted. Here's a picture of it. And I decided that I just had a good chuckle at it. I thought it was really cute. I read it to you, right? But she is referencing that list, and she says, your list comments triggered this request. Please make a video on attracting a husband and your wisdom on successful dating. And of course, marriage. So wow. I read that and was like, whoa. I don't know that I was trying to attract a husband when this whole thing happened right here. She wasn't. So I had to think about it for a little while, and I was just like, I think I even responded and said, girl, I wasn't trying to attract no husband. But it happened, and I'm glad. But I don't know, it made me think about that whole topic and what you do to go about attracting a partner and what makes a successful marriage and successful dating. So I thought we should answer it together because it was pretty involved. We haven't ever made a video telling you our story, so we should probably do that. We did the husband tag. No, we did the husband tag and the wife tag, and we talked a little bit about...
That could be like a whole season series.
We talked about knowing each other in school and being attracted to each other and eventually ending up together, like our first date and stuff like that. But we haven't ever really talked about...
I seriously think we could do that in like at least 3 videos, probably 5.
It's a pretty extensive conversation.
We could totally do it with cliffhangers. Stay tuned until next week's installation of the Tanya and Eric's story.
Mm-hmm. I will say this, there were 3 proposals. 3. And 2 rings. There were 3 rings, but the first time he wasn't offering one. And there was another girl involved. That's all I'm going to say about that right now. So, attracting a husband, well...
You have to speak on this because I've never tried to do that.
Yeah. Oh, it just got super dark.
Oh, the clouds.
It got dark when I started talking about attracting a husband.
Lord, are you saying something?
Ooh, you should be trying to attract no man. Okay, no, really. I think that a lot of... this is my assumption, so you can actually confirm whether or not this is right. But I think a lot of what is attractive in a woman to a man is her self-confidence and her not
Besides physical appearance, of course. Which is important.
Yes. You need to take care of yourself, make yourself presentable externally, right? But my impression, my assumption has been...
Before you go on though, let me just point out. Your husband should be physically attracted to you. That's important. Just because he's attracted to other parts of you, that may not be enough. Now, those things will carry you on when the physical attraction wanes or the reasons for the physical attraction diminish or get old. But that needs to be part of it.
Okay.
That's important.
So then I'm going to modify what I said then, because I was thinking this may be a central or most important factor, or primary factor, but maybe not. Although I do think it's really important, but he's the guy, so I'm going to take his word for it. I do agree there should definitely be physical attraction there.
It shouldn't only be physical attraction.
Right.
That's just lust.
Yeah.
That's just animalistic sex drive. That is never a reason to be with any man or certainly to get married.
Right. That's not. But attraction should be there. Physical attraction, sexual attraction. It's not a bad word. It should be there. But I think that a woman who's not like desperately seeking after guys, I get the impression that that's a turnoff. Like guys don't really like that.
Guys need a little bit of a challenge, and when something is easy, we may still take it. I mean, everybody likes low-hanging fruit, but well, some fruit should sit up nice and perky. But anyway, guy will still take low-hanging fruit, but it will not satisfy him. A man needs he needs to feel needed. He needs to feel, and not in a clingy way, but he needs to feel like he is. John Eldridge, who's an author, a Christian author, talks about a maiden to rescue, a princess to rescue from the fairy tale story. Now that's an archetypal image, but really, every guy wants to be the knight in shining armor, even if he's not, really a knight in shining armor. But he wants, when interacting with a woman, he is going to be attracted to a woman who is someone that he can honor and cherish and save from whatever, and also that he has to pursue a little bit. He needs to court. There needs to be a pursuit.
And those things aren't weaknesses.
No.
He's not looking for a woman who's weak.
No.
Would that be attractive or?
No, weak women are not attractive. Insecurity is not. I mean, I don't think either sex finds insecurity in the other sex attractive. Anybody.
Right.
Unless they're a predator. But,
right.
And of course that's not the kind of person you want either. But
right. So those characteristics he's describing aren't weaknesses. A woman should know her mind, know what she wants to do, not be afraid to do it, not be afraid to speak for herself, to be assertive and direct, but respectful. Because if you're respectful of anybody, that's attractive, right? So I don't want it to sound like, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I'm pretty sure I understand where you're coming from. I don't want it to sound like he's saying, that's right. I don't want it to sound like he's saying a man wants a woman who's weak and can't do anything for herself, and so the guy has to do everything and has to rescue her. That's not the meaning in rescue or be the hero for. A woman should be strong enough.
Yeah, a man wants to feel honored.
Yeah,
he wants to feel valuable, and so that's what I mean.
That's good stuff. See, I thought that you would be able to answer that question better than me. So, attracting a husband, attracting a man, you should be taking care of yourself. Not for that reason, though. Not for that reason.
Take care of yourself because you're a person of value.
Yeah, because you love yourself.
Are worth taking care of.
Yeah. You're a child of God. You're made in the image of God. You're beautiful. You're precious. You're unique. And so you need to invest in yourself. And I don't necessarily mean financially. I mean emotionally, mentally. Financially is nice, nothing wrong with that. But care about you. And that really communicates. That speaks volumes. A person who is caring for themselves, and I don't mean through vanity or in a conceited kind of way, but just, you're confident in who you are. You love yourself. You're happy with your skin. You're happy with your face. You're happy with what's inside. You're spending time building the person that you are internally. You're not trying to figure out what other people like and then be that person. You're happy to be you. Those kinds of things attract people. Yes, that's good. Be authentic. Be yourself. First and foremost, be you. Take care of what's on the outside. Good hygiene is important. Take care of your hair. Do your hair. Smell good. Some women like to wear makeup, some women don't. The guys that I know generally don't really care one way or the other, and they're not often huge fans of makeup.
So here's my deal with makeup. First of all, with my wife, when I'm trying to kiss on her, I don't need a bunch of lipstick getting all over my face and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
you won't kiss me right now with this lipstick on.
I will, but then I'm going to have to go wash my lips off. And, I will admit, some tastefully applied, minimalistic makeup can be a tremendous enhancement on someone who's already beautiful. Someone who's, I guess, that our culture would describe as plain, it can take it up a few notches. A good paint job is a good paint job. But,
that's not okay.
Anyway, you know, you can accentuate the positive, right? And diminish the negative. And I get the point of makeup, and it looks nice.
But people don't have to
honestly,
wear it.
A little goes a long way. And to me, it goes to that authenticity. People are beautiful, and you know, there's so much more to a person than just how their face looks. Again, augment it, enhance it, fine, but don't replace it. Like, if you take your makeup off and you look like a completely different person, I'm kind of like, so who am I marrying, or who am I dating? Like, the person that I'm attracted to looks completely different than the person you really are. That's going to be a problem.
And also just because if you're comfortable with yourself, with what you look like, you know, that communicates a lot as well to the person. Phoenix 5 also asked about wisdom on successful dating. I'm not quite sure.
So I come from a perspective that dating is, not in every case, but in a lot of cases, dating is just basically divorce practice. If you're dating around, like, it's
you
kind
mean
of
going from person to person?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the way our culture is set up, like from junior high now, grade school, you start dating people.
So you get tired of them.
You get tired of them, and then you break up, and then you find another person, and I'm like, that's just basically divorce practice.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if you're of majority age, if you're an adult and you are in the market for a potential spouse, then you're going to go about things a little differently. And everything you do should be intentional. I think that's the most important thing. Be intentional.
And I think that's what she's asking about, like dating as far as looking toward a long-term relationship.
Yeah. So in any potential person, obviously you have to evaluate, and spending time together, doing things together, that's what you have to do to kind of feel out each other out and see if this is a potential mate, a potential long-term spouse.
Involve friends.
Involve friends,
or
especially
a mentor of some sort.
Yeah, that's good.
Involve somebody who's outside of the situation, who's not one of you, right? And who can be an objective voice, and someone who's mature, not someone who will be petty or silly or just want to say what you want to hear, but somebody who can really be objective and not be afraid to maybe say things you don't want to hear.
Ideally, someone who knows both of you, but it doesn't have to be that. But ideally, someone who knows both of you, who can look at you and speak the truth with love. That's the most ideal. But even and of course, if you find someone who's in a successful relationship, that's great. But that doesn't mean you can't have single friends, or even someone who's been married and divorced, or widowed, or whatever. God uses all kinds of people to speak into our lives, but definitely you need people. You need a community of people around you who can speak into your progressing relationship. That's important. We needed that.
We did need that,
Big
and we had good people in our lives who would tell us the truth, and that was important.
Sometimes it was hard. We didn't want to always hear what they had to say.
Yep, but it was necessary. I will also say, I don't think you should sleep together before you get married. I think our society has just kind of normalized that, but it is really unhealthy, and a lot of people carry the burdens from previous relationships or hookups into marriage. It affects their self-perception. It affects the way they interact with intimacy with their spouse once they get married, but even prior to that, it affects how they see themselves. And I believe that spiritually, you take a piece of each person you sleep with, because you're bonded to that person. You literally form a blood tie with them, because there is minimal, even if you don't see it, there's tearing, and I know this is kind of intimate, but there's bloodshed. Huh? I went there because it's true. There's bloodshed, even at a very basic minimal level during intercourse, and you make a tie, you make a blood tie, a soul tie with that person that you're intimate with, and once you then move on to another partner, you're can you imagine all the co-mingling of bonds that's going on right there? And that just leads to so much unhealthy baggage that people carry along. So I do not advocate having sex before you're married or having sex outside of marriage, and I understand that that is a challenge, but that's my position on that.
It's certainly countercultural right now.
Yeah. And I also don't advocate living together, because I've known people who have lived together. I know people who have advocated it so they can get to know the person, but I think that it sets up the potential for unhealthy expectations. It may give you information about the person, but it's still not necessarily the same information as being married to the person. I think there's just a different level of intimacy. But even on top of that, just, you can leave. Like, you know, it's not as hard to leave that situation as it is to leave a marriage when things aren't working out or you're arguing or things are difficult, because that will happen when you're married just as much as it'll happen living together when you're not married. But you can choose to remove yourself from that situation, whereas in marriage there's supposed to be a safeguard in place already to prevent you from quickly leaving when things get difficult. And I don't mean when there's abuse, you know, infidelity, those kinds of things. I'm not talking about those cases, but just when things get a bit rocky or bumpy or you're frustrated. And like I said earlier, our culture sets up for that.
Yeah.
So I did want to put those positions out there that I don't, those are two things that I will not advocate in dating at all. But I do think it's healthy to get to know a partner so that you can see whether or not this person is compatible for marriage.
So I say it this way, as it was said to me years ago: until you tie the knot with someone, actually get married, that other person, it could very potentially be someone else's spouse. Mm-hmm. And you could be someone else's spouse. And if you love that other person, even if you don't end up getting married, out of your love for them, do you not want them to be wholly the person, whoever it is, they're supposed to marry? And by the same token, don't you want the person you're going to be married to be wholly yours and not divided because of past ties to other people? So to treat one another out of, if we really love one another and truly respect and honor one another, we're going to hold that person with honor and respect and not tarnish what could very well be someone else's wife or husband.
To value them.
Until you're actually husband and wife, that person's not your husband or your wife,
right,
and could still be someone else's,
right,
and you could be someone else's, and so you don't want someone else tarnishing your wife. And I'm using that word. I'm a little bit hesitant to use the word tarnish because, you know, we all we make mistakes, and so I want to just insert here. We make mistakes, or we come from different places in life, and if you've been in that place, you're not ruined.
Right. Not at all.
Not at all. You know, God is the God of redemption and restoration, and He's able to take and heal any situation. There is always forgiveness. God will forgive anything. It's just about a matter of our heart. But, you know, just if you're dating, keep that in mind.
Right.
This person that you're dating may be your spouse, but they may not. Even if you're absolutely madly in love with him and you're absolutely sure you're going to get married, until you're married, you're not married.
Right. So don't dishonor them or the person that they may end up with by taking more from them than really is yours to have.
Yeah.
Before they're yours.
Yeah. And along with that, statistically, people who sleep together, live together before getting married, even if they do end up getting married, statistically, the rate of divorce is significantly higher, vastly higher. The likelihood of staying together, if you've cohabited or slept together before marriage, just skyrocket. I mean, the likelihood of staying together plummets, actually.
Likelihood of divorce.
And so it just something to bear in mind. It's a risk. So that's successful dating. Marriage, then, wow, there have been libraries of books and videos and things done on successful marriage. I don't know that we're experts on it.
We still feel pretty young. We will have been married 15 years this September.
Yeah.
And it still, in some ways, feels like we're still kind of, now we're out of the, you know, getting our feet wet stage, and we're in there, but we're still definitely figuring stuff out. Figuring stuff out.
what the things that help us make it work when it's difficult. Those are probably the things that are most useful. For us, divorce is not an option. That's not something that we put on the table, or certainly nothing we ever threaten or hold over someone's head when they're doing something we are deeply hurt by or that we really don't like. So for us, we made that commitment at the beginning of our marriage that divorce is not an option for us. It's not on the table. It's never part of the conversation.
And I come from a background where there was divorce, multiple divorces. Love both my parents dearly, very dearly, and they're both amazing people. But in our background, there's divorce. Both of my parents have been divorced from one another and from other people. And
mine not. My family, for the most part, has been very solid, stable marriages. Not always the healthiest marriages, I find out sometimes, but stayed together. But along the flip side of divorce is not an option is that we've made a commitment that we are committed to the relationship. So even when we're absolutely furious or deeply hurt at the other person or by the other person, and that happens. It happens in any close, intimate relationship.
Yes,
we're still two different people, and although we're on the same page about a lot of things, we have some very strong opinions and wants and desires that are conflicting. And we bump up against those, and especially in times if we're feeling selfish or if we're tired or hungry, there's a lot of different things that can make it easier to have conflict. But there are those times when it's deep and it's hard. We always try to affirm, and we've made a commitment to affirm that our relationship is solid. We're committed to the relationship, and we're going to get through this. That's our commitment to each other. That
we're on the same team.
We're on the same team, and we're going to get through this. And if we can't work it out ourselves, then we're going to get help.
Right.
And that's just, we are committed to that 100%.
This is a book that we got when we were taking premarital counseling. It's an excellent book on communication. It's called Talking and Listening Together. And it gave us some really good tips about how to disagree healthily and talk and listen, which is what a lot of times people don't do in disagreements. And there's a couple we've used this strategy over and over and over again to sort out big problems that we weren't able to talk out. And the strategy actually is good even if you're not, even if it's not a huge issue.
Listening and communication strategy,
yeah. So communication is a huge key in having a successful marriage. Listening to each other, talking stuff out. Sorry guys, battery died, but we're back now.
I think I might have changed the angle.
We're sorry if the angle is slightly different, but it's us. We're still here. We're still the same folks. So what we mainly wanted to say was that communication is key. Not going to bed angry is a huge, very important thing to make sure that you, even if you haven't sorted it all out yet, plan a time and then get back to it. But go to bed having forgiven.
Just reaffirm your commitment to the relationship.
That you love each other.
I know we're still angry at one another or whatever, but we're going to work this out.
Right.
We're going to set this down for right now. We'll pick it back up tomorrow or the next day or whatever at a specific time, and we'll work this out. You're more important to me than this issue.
Right.
I love you.
Right.
Kiss, kiss.
And give each other permission to call a timeout if you need to.
That's a big one.
Yep.
If things get too elevated emotionally, timeout, and let's talk about this another time, and that has to be inviolate.
Yeah. Has to be.
Everybody respects it. Whether you think it's fair or not.
It's timeout.
It's timeout. That person is not feeling safe in the conversation anymore, and it's not that you will never talk about it again, but it's right now this is not going to be productive.
Right.
We'll come back at this again, maybe when emotions have simmered down.
Also, you mentioned love languages.
Oh, yeah. Everybody has love languages. Usually one main one and one or two subordinate ones. Learn your spouse's love languages and learn to operate in them, even if they're not natural to you.
Yeah.
If everybody's doing that, then we're all feeling loved and
Yes.
getting our love tanks filled.
Yes, that's
So
important.
learn those.
There's a great book called The 5 Love Languages. You've probably heard of it, and
It's
that
good
is
stuff.
that's worth reading as well.
Yeah.
So that's
Have
just,
fun together.
Oh yeah,
Always
definitely.
be friends.
Yes.
Work on
Laugh.
being friends.
Laugh together. Do things that you like together.
Don't get so familiar that you forget how to be friends.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't take for granted.
And when and if you have kids, make sure that you still have time for each other. That you make time for each other. That your kids know that you are one another's priorities. And that they're very important, but that your spouse is the number one person in your life. Because they should be. They should be number one, even before your wonderful and very important kids.
Yeah.
So,
There's lots of other great advice out there,
Yeah.
and we haven't touched on anywhere near the tip of the iceberg. But
we're just 15 years
those are
in.
just some things that have been probably foremost in our
Mhm.
relationship that
Yeah.
we have felt have been important and have helped
Mhm.
keep us going and,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah, make it work. It's work. Relationships take work.
yeah.
It's good work, but it's hard work, and so
Far too many relationships end when one or both of the people involved realize that it's going to actually take some
it's gonna be
work, and it's not always
Yes. I'm gonna have to yield.
fun.
I'm gonna have to give up some things that I want.
Stop being
or
selfish.
Like, yeah.
Nobody wants to stop being selfish.
Yes, I might have to put things on hold in my life for a while.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help this other person get what they need to get. They're gonna help me get what I need to get, and that takes a lot of trust. That's why things like divorce are so hard. When you give it your all, and then one person wants to stop, you feel violated because you have been violated because you've given everything that you should have given, and it wasn't respected and appreciated. And that really hurts. That's a problem. But in a good and healthy relationship, giving 100% of at least as much as you can. You know, sometimes it's 80-20, but you give as much as you can give to the relationship. And that, if you're giving that, that is your 100% effort. And it's reciprocated, and that's how things work well together.
Listen to learn, not to respond.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Listen to understand,
Yeah.
not to rebut.
No rebuttals. And like we said, we are definitely not the experts. We've been married 15 years. We're still figuring things out. But that's just the input that we have. Our ups and downs. We're both very strong-willed people.
Make love regularly, frequently. It's important.
It's important. You're right. You're right. But
It's
she
easy
was
to-
also
it's-
asking about dating.
She was asking about marriage.
And yes, and marriage. So
after you're
when
married,
you get
make love
married-
frequently. Not
After,
before. We already
not
established
before.
that.
Okay. I'm getting embarrassed.
Don't have a long engagement. Once you figure out it's the right person, get married as quick as
Yes.
possible.
Yes, 6 months or less.
Yeah.
You're doing all that.
Once you know
You're
you found your
doing the
spouse,
most. Get married.
it's time to get busy after you get married. So get married quick
And then you can get busy.
and get busy.
We're going to end this video now. Thank you for watching, guys. He's getting all saucy now. Like, oh,
Is this not the real me?
this is the real Eric. Okay?
Y'all
This
gonna
right
see
here.
it. We're gonna start doing some live videos.
Yes. So the camera died, and in between we did a live stream, and it was awesome. Thank you for those of you who watched my very first live
17
stream.
of you.
It was fantastic. I'll link
Totally
it up
unannounced.
here.
I
Yep.
thought that was impressive.
I'll link it up here somewhere. I think I called it, how does this thing work? Because I really was just trying to figure it out. So we'll be doing more live
She
streams.
has a new toy.
And I do
She's
have a
thrilled.
new toy.
I knew she'd love it. I'm like, this is totally your medium because you get to interact with your viewers.
It is
live
like
instead
right
of, like,
there. I
post
get to
facto.
like my face is hurting from smiling about it right now.
She's glowing.
It was so much fun. So please look at that live stream and then pop in when you see me kind of coming with the live stream. Watch it, okay? Get on there, talk to me. But you're
You're
gonna
gonna
see
set a
more
time,
of the real him.
right?
I am, but I have not thought of one right now.
Oh, that's
So
brand new.
I will.
Okay.
But I might just pop in there tomorrow. We'll see. Anyway, you will already have seen a couple of live streams by the time this goes up because I have to edit this, whereas I didn't edit that. But you'll get to see the real him on live streams because he's
Look out.
not this quiet
Live and unfiltered.
Mm-hmm.
I be saying bad stuff sometimes, y'all. She edits it out, but you have no idea. I hope you still love us after this.
They'll love me.
They'll love you.
They'll love your beard.
They'll pray for you. They'll pray for me to be healed and saved.
He's a good guy. He's saved and he's healed. He's a good guy. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to thumbs up this video. Comment, please. If you want more videos like this, let us know. We'd be happy to do it. Quit clowning. We'd be happy to do them. Let us know the topics that you want us to talk about. We will get right on it. Okay? Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later. Bye. Did you get my eyebrow off?
Probably. Probably right here.
What else? Don't make them pokey.
It's the makeup.
Don't make them pokey. Stop!
Violence. Look at the violence.
Whatever.